Hello, my name is Ricardo Pedrosa, and today I'll be answering the question, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues for my film, Helicopter Mom? To begin, I'll discuss how my film upheld and subverted each of its genres, which Steve Neal would note is essential for a successful film as it can both build audience expectations and maintain their attention. First, for the comedy genre, I upheld the straight man, which is where a serious character, or in my case the main character and son, is paired with a chaotic character, aka the stalker mother. However, I subverted the usual bright lighting of comedies as my film is shot outside at night with the only light source coming from the lampposts around the characters. Secondly, for the thriller genre, I upheld both the conventions of high stakes, which is where the main character's peace is at stake due to a situation, which in my film is his mother stalking him, and confinement or isolation, which is when the main character is trapped in a situation, or in my case, his mother's gaze. To contrast this, I subverted the convention of fast-paced sound design, as there is a calm ambient noise around both characters coming from the night that they are surrounded by. Lastly, for the mystery genre, I upheld the crime or inciting incident convention, as the main character discovers his mother is sneaking around and stalking him, which kicks off the story as he tries to find a way to stop her. However, I subverted the sidekick convention for mystery films, as the main character has to work alone to prevent his mother from stalking him and being a helicopter mom. Next, I will address some social groups and issues that my film addresses. Those being how some parents around the world are constantly trying to be overprotective of their children, especially in their teen years, some of which smothering them to the point where their children don't even have good social lives and are bullied. Also, as Judith Butler would note, that despite stalkers in movies similar to mine being male, the one in my film is female, which goes against the traditional gender norm of my film's genre. Now, I'll go over some films that are similar to mine. For example, Helicopter Mom, which is a film about a teenage boy whose mother constantly tries to control his life and does things like set him up on dates and looking for scholarships for LGBTQ+, despite him still questioning his sexuality, which is similar to how, in my film, the main character's mother is the main antagonist and tries to control her son's life. Another example would be Run, which is a movie about a girl who discovers that her mother, who is the antagonist of the film, isn't her true mother and is controlling her life to the point of making her paraplegic with pills, which is similar to my film, as the main character's mother is also the main antagonist. Lastly, Watcher is also a similar movie, as both it and my film have a stalker as the main antagonist for the main character to overcome. Lastly, some examples of films that are different from mine would be Grown Ups and Playdate. Grown Ups is different because unlike in my film where the main antagonist is a family member of the main character, in Grown Ups the main characters work with their families and try to enjoy their stay at a log cabin in the woods despite events that occur. Playdate is also different from my film because, as a comedy, a large majority of the scenes are shot in brightly lit places, such as a park or the highway in the middle of the day, whereas my film is shot in dark lighting for a majority of the film, with the main source of light coming from lampposts above the characters.